Eliel and Eero Saarinen were Finnish-American architects who are also a father-son duo. They are most known for designing the St. Louis Gateway Arch.
The St. Louis Arch was constructed in 1963. The 60s were supposed to be a golden age of society, however the decade was fraught with social problems. This decade was focused on looking forward.
Saarinen's Gateway Arch is located in St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis began as a fur trading post in 1764, named after the King of France. It later grew to be a major center of trade and commerce and a starting point of many westward trails. The Jefferson National Expansion Memorial sits on 62 acres of the west bank of the Mississippi River in central St. Louis. As the market and supply was in demand for fur traders and explorers such as Lewis and Clark, St. Louis grew exponentially after the War of 1812, when a huge amount of people began to travel by wagon to get their fortune west of the Mississippi. When the idea of a publicly funded riverfront memorial was proposed in 1933, many in St. Louis opposed the idea, instead supporting more practical uses for the funds. The metropolitan city was uncertain after the Great Depression. The idea seemed absolutely preposterous. In 1947, civic leader Luther L. Smith conceived the idea of building a memorial to help revive the riverfront and memorialize the story of the nation's westward expansion. The public needed to remember their pride and hope. The project also promised jobs which were badly needed at the time. That small stroke of luck helped earn public support and got the project started. Saarinen won the nationwide competition to design a monument honoring the spirit of westward expansion. He wanted something that would honor Thomas Jefferson while creating a structure which would have lasting significance and be a landmark of our time. Sadly, however, Saarinen died of a brain tumor in 1961 and did not live to see the construction of his famous arch, which began in 1963. Completed in 1965, the Gateway Arch cost less than $15 million to build. With foundations sunk 60 feet into the ground, its frame of stainless steel is built to withstand both earthquakes and high winds. Standing about 630 feet tall and wide with 63 floors and 1,076 steps, the arch is the tallest memorial in the United States and the tallest stainless steel monument in the world. The arch weighs about 43,220 pounds. An internal fan system runs about every 5 minutes if both are working. Both people can see 30 miles of the Mississippi and the Great Plains. Despite its small appearance, the arch's observation deck at the top can hold 160 people.
The Gateway Arch was built with modern intentions. It was a bold move in the history of United States historical monuments. One of Saarinen's major concerns in creating the monument was that it wouldn't have a lasting significance or stand as a landmark in the future. Today, however, the St. Louis Gateway Arch and the Jefferson National Expansion Memorial are viewed as being in the same league as the Statue of Liberty and the Washington Monument. It has stood the test of time as a commemorative icon for the westward United States expansion.